Have you ever worried about what other people might think of you? Have you ever thought about the words that possibly run through another person's mind after a conversation, a meeting, or even just a moment of silence? Well, I sure did. Been there, done that, guilty as charged. But this morning, someone brought a new idea into my mind, and with that, a new way to think about this. And I did like this idea very, very much. So I want to share it with you in this podcast. So let me give you this perspective as well, plus my own thoughts and additions to this topic. And I think this is going to be an episode I also will have to listen to again from time to time. Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to 1 Week at a Time, where we discover topics like living mindfully, unapologetically in your day-to-day life, becoming your true, authentic self more and more by day. I'm Vanessa, your host, and today let's reshape our perception of what other people might think about us. Currently, I'm reading a book about podcasting, and it's actually a guide about how to podcast everything that's going on behind. It's a big one with lots of information. It's from Valerie Gala. It's called Beyond Powerful Radio, the third edition, the latest edition that just came out. And she talks in her book that there are two types of creators. There are the generators. They generate ideas on their own. Like they're sitting in a room, there's an empty blank page in front of them, and they're flowing with ideas, and they're like overflowing and getting new ideas out of their own. And this type is relatively scarce. And most people actually are, like I am, reactors. These types of people are also creative, but they don't necessarily like the blank page. They love to have a little bit of input from somewhere and build something from that. This is where they thrive. This is where they grow. And this is me. And so I was debating whether to record a podcast today or not, because honestly, my page was blank as F. This week was, well, some things happened, but nothing really to talk about. I did a lot, like I built myself an office. Here I am. But there's not much input. There was not too much to consume. It was more doing and working and being back to my normal life after my vacation. But that was that. And then I was sitting there this fine Sunday morning, drinking my tea, and was like, I want to record a podcast episode today, but I honestly have no clue what about. I could check my notes, like from the past episodes. There's always topics I didn't use because then it would be too filled to stuff, and look at topics that happened to me in the past weeks that I can talk about today. And I was like, okay, let's open TikTok. Maybe there will be an idea for me. And honestly, you won't believe it. I watched 3 TikToks and I had my idea. The first one was a dog eating a steak like it's coming from above in his mouth. You don't call it mouth in the English language, I guess, but let's stick to this. And it was just without any bite. It was just gone. It was like it inhaled it, and it was like crazy. Then there was the second one. I don't even remember. And then the third one was boom. Amazing. This is a topic I didn't know the creator yet, but I did like what he said in this specific episode, or this specific TikTok actually, that I thought, okay, this is a new way to see things, and I love to share that with you. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. So, as I said in the beginning, I probably will want to listen to this episode one or another time in the future to remind myself when I go into that loophole again. And what he said is the following. I'm going to read it to you because I took notes. Probably my pronunciation, which word I highlight, might be a little different from him because this is me speaking, and I will link you the original video in the show notes as usual, so you can see the whole thing for yourself. So let's go. I'm quoting him. I don't actually know what you're thinking about me. I just know what I think you might think about me, which means I am creating a mean and judgmental version of you in my head and then using it to think mean things about myself. And since I made you mean in my head, then really I'm the one being judgmental of you, not the other way around. Now I just assume people are cool and that they are probably thinking nice things. After that, he said a little more about the topic, but after that I made a cut because I think that's the essence. He talks about, what happens when people prove him wrong. And he shares a beautiful Buddhist story that you really will remember, but that would be too much for this episode. But really, look at the original TikTok. It's beautiful. So to sum this up and bring this into my own words, he's saying that you are creating a mean version of another person in your mind. How rude, actually, isn't it? And B, you are creating a version of yourself that just doesn't exist. I mean, if you remember last week's episode, I Can Do Hard Things, this is where I talked about the other TikTok I saw that speaks about the various versions of you that are out there already and that are just existing in everyone's head, and you have nothing to do about this. And the other point is, why would you create such a version of you that represents you so badly, that's so inaccurate to how you want to be seen, you know? And also, I think this is so far away from how you're actually being seen by the person. Because turn it around. How many times are you really thinking badly about another person you just met, you had a conversation with, you work with, whatsoever? I mean, let's be honest. How bad are your thoughts? And I assume they might be very decent as well. So usually it's the other way around as well. And you know what? One thing we often forget. Everyone is the main character in their own life. Everyone has the spotlight on them all the time. And everyone is so busy presenting themselves in the best way possible that the same game that you are playing in your head is going on in their head as well. So we're all playing the same mind game. We're all playing the same bullshit bingo in our head, thinking the other person is thinking this and that about me, while we think about what the other person might be thinking. And so it's back and forth between the two people. We might as well stop that and just be. And you know what I think is actually happening? This is not scientifically proven, but this is just what I think what's going on. And I think we are projecting our own insecurities into other people's minds. This is like we see ourselves unfiltered 24/7. We see every nice thought we have. We see every nasty thought we have. We see every intrusive thought that sometimes might pop up. We see all these facets of ourselves unfiltered 24/7. And what we think is, oh my, I'm seeing this 24/7, so it must be so obvious that the other person must see it as well. I mean, how could they not? Are they blind? And with that, I sometimes wonder if the most confident person in the world would even think about that, if they would even care what other people think about them, because they're so confident and so secure in themselves that they don't really give something about it. And as I said, because again, they are seeing yourself through their lens. You have no play in this. They see you through their eyes, through their reality, through their expectation, through whatever is going on in them. And all you can do is the best version you are, and the rest is up to them. It's not in your hands anymore, so you might as well let go. And sometimes what happens is that people give you a compliment and you think like, they must be polite or something. I don't know why they would do this otherwise. And if there's no reason to give you that compliment because you didn't ask for it or because someone else said something that they feel like they have to add up on that, then they mean it. Then it's genuine. And then it's okay to just say, thank you. Thank you. And move on. Or you can use that thank you and tell a story, like for a girl, for example, when someone says, oh, I really love your jacket, and you bought it in a flea market in Italy one warm summer day, I don't know, and you have a whole story to tell, you might as well go that route. But it depends obviously on the conversation and how much bonding and how much time you want to do with the other person. And I know it's not always possible, but there are some things that can make it easier for you to just be yourself, to feel free and to give a little more about what other people think. And I think being in a new environment is really a game changer for that. I experienced that a few times from my teenage years to like recent time. And it began when I started doing cheerleading. Like I was me in school with all the people around me. Like, as I said in an episode before, I just existed. No one really cared that I was there, and I had to deal with that because actually I wanted to be cool. And that didn't happen in school. And then I found cheerleading, and in cheerleading and with the team and with the football players and the whole group of people around that, I was a different version of me, more confident, a complete, yeah, just different. I don't want to say one is better than the other, but it was just a different Vanessa that time. And when I moved from where I grew up near Hamburg to Berlin back then, it changed again because all of a sudden no one knew me. So I was a blank page to everyone I just met, every colleague, every person I worked with, which are colleagues, by the way. But every person I met, no matter where, was just didn't know me. And that was a big chance to be more confident and just be more me without all the things that piled up throughout the school years that I thought were me. And recently, when we moved to Barcelona and started working in a co-working space, what happened is you meet new people there as well, obviously. And after a year or so in the co-working space, we worked, like when I speak about we, it's me and my partner. We changed co-working spaces, not because anything happened, but we felt like, oh, there's another one we want to try out, we like better. And during my year in the first co-working space, I learned some things that then I could adapt in the new one because again, I was a blank page. No one knew me back then and I could adapt to the way I want to feel and I want to be seen, or at least I want to present myself because as I said, I don't have anything to do with how other people see me, but I can take care of how I want to be seen. And from the feedback out of conversations from time to time, like you don't ask for feedback, but sometimes people mirror you how they see you, was like, well, I think I'm seen the way I want to be seen. And it did work out. So I know you can't always move and you can always start a new job somewhere because you're really happy where you are. But then you can try doing these things on a private level, like trying a new fitness course or doing some courses that are offered in person where you can go to where no one knows you, like going to a cooking class, a baking class, whatsoever, learning a new language, then you will meet new people as well. So there's many options besides work and where you live to get in contact with new people. And the chances that there's really an overlap, well, it depends. If you're in a rural area and you're just in a tiny village, you might meet someone. But the bigger the environment you're in is, like the closer you are to a city or so, the bigger are the chances to actually meet no one that you know already. And while I was thinking what I want to bring to the topic, I had, these moments in mind where you have these cringe moments where you're like, oh, did I say that? That was so weird. Why did I do that? Or when you said something to a person and it still sticks with you and you have the feeling like, no, I need to talk about that because I think I appeared rude or whatsoever. And you have to bring that topic up. And you know what? Usually no one will remember these moments. I've had some of these moments myself where, like, for example, I was talking to a friend's friend and he was talking about the kind of odd behavior his partner did. And I was like, well, is he okay? Does he have mental issues? Maybe he doesn't like speak about yet or whatsoever. And I felt the way I said it didn't sound compassionate, but actually it was meant super compassionate and not pushy and not judgy at all. But in my head, I was reflecting on that later on and I thought, oh my God, I think I sounded so rude and I was putting so many things on that person. Like, do you think this? And do you think that? And it was just trying to, like, it was the intention of helping. And we moved on. The evening passed by. And as I said, I reflected later on. And I was sitting at home and thinking, if I see that person again, I have to talk to him. And the next time we met, I brought that topic to the table because I felt I need to set that straight. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I didn't want to overstep boundaries or whatsoever. And he was like, "You said that? I don't even remember." And I was like, yeah, this was sitting in my head for weeks now. And he didn't even think about it twice. So this was just one of the situations where I had to bring up the topic again. And in the end, nothing was going on. He let go of that because obviously he was living his life. And it was not like the exact words I said didn't even stick with him. And I think this sums it up really good. There's this thing called the spotlight effect, that every one of us has this huge spotlight over our head shining on us. And we think this is the only spotlight that exists in this world. No one will see anything else but me in this huge spotlight. You know what? Everyone has the spotlight. So my spotlight shines on me, yours shines on you, your friends shines on them. So we all think we are the most important person in this world, which we are for ourselves. We are. And this is totally okay to be the main character in your own world, but everyone else is the main character in their world as well. And sometimes it's nice to know that this is actually happening, that everyone thinks this way, because then you can let go and be more free because you know, okay, they are doing their thing. I am doing my thing. And with that, we are all just fine. And we can all, just get together and be at peace with that. And after watching the video I talked to you about, I sometimes tend to go into the comments to see if, what people think, if there are additions that didn't make it into the video, if there are maybe contraries that I didn't see that other people think of, like, yeah, you're right, but. And the funny thing is, the comments I saw, a lot of them were about the background. You know, it was a green screen video and behind him was some artwork he did probably with some AI. And I did notice it, but I didn't really give it much of a thought. I know, okay, it's a video. There's obviously some background needed to give it like the whole feeling of the video. So I was at peace with it. Didn't even check it twice or didn't even really look deeply at the picture that was showing there. And the people were like, dude, yeah, what you're saying is actually good, but this background, this AI background, was it really necessary? And it's so cute because that's showing again what I said. Everyone sees life through their own lens. And for them, this AI background was something in their lens that was itching, that they didn't like, that they had to comment on. And for me, it was like, oh my, what is he saying? I actually find it very interesting. So my lens was a completely different than from those people that say like, oh yeah, the AI background was really annoying. And with that, as I said in the last episode, be you, do you, stay true to yourself. There's nothing else you can do. And if you are at peace with what you do, and if you can go to bed in the end of the day and you say, okay, I did my best today, or at least I stayed true to myself, that's all you can do, and then you're good. And with that, we come to today's episode's end. My first video episode. I don't know if I will show you the video, but it's still a little bit weird and I'm still a little bit uncomfortable sitting here because I noticed my script are too many words. I have to read too much. I have to change a little bit here and there about the way I do things. Video podcasting is different than just audio podcasting, I realize. I mean, I knew it, but experiencing it firsthand is a different story. So if you see the video, feel free to give me some feedback. I'm very excited. And tell me what you think, what I can change, what I can improve. I'm always opening to listen to you. And now I thank you for sharing your time with me. If you haven't already, subscribe to this podcast to not miss on any upcoming episodes, to always stay on track, to always see what's new, what's coming in. And if you have someone that you think should listen to this episode as well, feel free to send it to them. I think it is really nice to see this topic, how people think about us through this lens, and just let go of that thought, because honestly, it doesn't lead anywhere. And if you want to, and I would really love that, leave a review on whatever podcast app you're using. And usually you can give like some stars, 5 stars would be lovely, and leave a comment so others can see that this podcast is relevant as well. With that said, I wish you a beautiful week ahead. See you next week. Bye, 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 bye.